Hey, welcome back to the channel. If you've been following along with my YouTube shorts, you'll know that I've been traveling around Asia for about 8 months. And today we're going to be making something that I was craving the whole time. We're making lasagna, layer upon layer of meaty, cheesy, pasteury goodness. Let's get into it. Let's start by prepping the veg. We want them to be quite fine, so either dice them, or if you want to save time and aren't as confident with a knife, you can just grate them. I would call it the lazy way to prep, but I guess you could always buy pre-chopped veg. Once all your veg is prepped, get that into a hot pan with some oil and cook them down for a few minutes. Give them a season and add in crushed garlic. I used about 5 cloves, but feel free to use as much or as little as you like. Side note, all of the ingredients and measurements used will be in the description below. Cook the veg for a few more minutes until they are softening, and then add in your mince and break that up into the pan and hit it with some seasoning. I'm using 20% fat beef mince, which is ideal for maximum flavour. If you're trying to cut down on fat, you can use leaner beef, but let's be real. When making lasagna, it's probably not the best time to be worrying about the calories. When the meat is browned, add in some bay leaves and tomato puree. Cook that for another couple minutes, and then we're going to go in with some red wine. I'm using just a cheap Italian red wine, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. Then add in tinned tomatoes and passata along with the rinsed out water from their containers. Now it's time to add some flavour. Add in 2 beef stock cubes and a few splashes of Worcestershire sauce. Then season with some dried herbs or herbs if you're watching in America. Thyme, oregano and basil are all great. Finally, the secret ingredient is marmite. Don't worry, it won't make the sauce taste like marmite, it just adds a nice saltiness and depth of flavour. Then we're just going to leave that on low to simmer for around 30 to 45 minutes. In the meantime, we're going to crack on with the white sauce. This is optional, but I think I saw a Jamie Oliver video where he used leeks and it's really nice, so I tend to use it every time that I make lasagna now. Open up your leek and wash off any grit or mud in the centre and then chop it up. Add butter to a pan along with the leeks and let it slowly soften. I'm using Kerrygold butter here simply because it's just the best butter. This isn't a sponsored post, but if Kerrygold want to get in touch, I'm here for it. While the leeks soften, I'm going to grate some cheese. Again, this is optional, but it adds extra flavour to the sauce, which is nice. Use whatever cheese you want. I went for a Jarlsberg, which is slightly nutty and it melts really well. When the leeks are soft and buttery, we're going to add in our flour to the pan. To make a bechamel sauce, you want to roughly use equal parts of butter to flour. I used 60 grams of butter, so I'm going to use 60 grams of flour. Incrementally add all the flour to the pan and stir it in to absorb the butter. Keep stirring it around for a minute or two to cook out the raw flavour from the flour. Now we are gradually going to add in milk whilst constantly stirring. Don't add all the milk at once, otherwise the sauce can become lumpy. Once all of the milk has been added, keep it on a low heat and it will slowly start to thicken. When the sauce has started to thicken, it's basically ready at this point, so add in your cheese. Now give it a taste to check the seasoning. Depending on the cheese that you have used, it will sometimes add some saltiness, so just add a touch of salt to taste, lots of black pepper, and some ground or grated nutmeg if you have it, and just look at that amazing cheesy white sauce. Now let's check back in with the meat sauce, which has been simmering away for about 45 minutes now. Give the sauce a taste and add any extra seasonings that you think it needs. It may need a touch of sugar, salt or red wine vinegar depending on how you like it. Mine tasted great, so we're ready to start layering up this beauty. Start with some meat sauce on the bottom, and then we're going to go pasta sheets, slap on a layer of that meat sauce, spoon over the white sauce and add a sprinkle of cheese. I'm using cheddar and parmesan. Continue this layering process until you reach the top layer. If you have any excess fat pooling around the sides, you can just drain that off with some kitchen roll. You may also end up with a bit of leftover sauce, which you can just keep in the fridge. To finish the lasagna off, pour over the rest of the white sauce and then add on mozzarella, freshly cracked black pepper, and top it with a grating of parmesan cheese. Bake it in the oven at about 180 degrees Celsius for around 30 to 35 minutes until the lasagna is going lovely and golden brown. There we have a simple and delicious lasagna, which is really one of the top comfort foods. This lasagna will make around 6 to 8 portions, and if you do treat yourself to this lasagna, I hope you enjoy. And here we have the finished lasagna. It smells incredible. I'm just gonna dive straight in. That is so good. Wow, look at all those layers. That's so nice. I'm not gonna waffle on to you about what a lasagna tastes like, because I'm sure you know what it tastes like, but this one is unreal. Probably one of the best ones I've made actually. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.